Hey everyone, and welcome to week 8 and 9 of my ruptured Achilles rehab and recovery. So with week 8, I removed the last wedge that was in my boot. Those little wedges that I've got, the little silicone ones, that one's removed now, so I've just got the boot. And yeah, it felt okay. There was a bit of tightness because obviously the foot is now not in sort of a high heel position. Your heel's coming more flat, so you're getting more of a 90-degree angle with your leg now. And there was a bit of tightness at the back for a little bit of burning, but after a while it was okay. So if you are also using the wedges and you're slowly removing them and you're going one by one, expect to have a bit of tightness, a bit of burning, because the tendon is obviously stretching that little bit more once you remove the wedge. So all in all, it's okay. Things are doing all right. And I'm also covering off week 9. So week 9, I'll be talking about my first physio session and also the type of physio that I'm going to be getting, the length of wait between physio sessions, as well as I'm going to show you some of the exercise and movements that I've been doing as well. So if you are coming out of your boot as well for non-operative, so this is me not having an operation, these are the type of exercises that I've been allocated, and I've seen around quite a few people are also doing similar ones. So I will talk about the physio sessions. So basically I went to see the physio for the first time. It was on a Friday, and I've been weight bearing on my boot for basically since week 2 or 3 after coming out the cast. And the physio looked at me and she said that I'm pretty much on track for healing. It looks okay. I showed her how I walk without the boot, with my foot facing to the side, and she says I need to start now walking properly and taking normal steps, even if they're short, and they need to be even weight bearing on each leg, so you don't sort of limp and put all your weight on your good leg. So that was the one thing she said I need to start doing. She then started looking at some of the movements that I've already been doing with ankle rolls. So I've been rolling my ankle this way and that way. I've been bringing my foot up to horizontal and slightly past, just to get a bit more of the stretch in. I've been doing some toe presses as if I'm pressing an accelerator in a car. So I've got a yoga mat on the floor here, and I'm just pressing against that, holding it for 5 seconds and releasing. So that's placing some tension on the calf. I did say to her that it feels like I don't have anything there. Sometimes when I'm walking, it feels really weird. And when I try to do a calf raise, it just feels like nothing's there. And she says that's due to the weakness that's taken place. So for not using it. Now, I did measure my calves because I've noticed a lot of people lose muscle mass quite a bit when they're not using their leg because it's in a cast and a boot for so long. And when I did measure, I've only lost about ½ an inch, which is quite strange because I haven't really used, well, I guess I've been weight bearing, so maybe that's been using the calf. But so that's quite good. The calf does look a bit smaller. You'll see in one of the videos that I'm going to be putting up now when I do calf raises. And yeah, so it was okay. She said I need to do some more strengthening exercises, some seated calf raises, and then leaning on my knees and doing seated calf raises to create that isometric tension in the muscle without any movement. I did a few of those, and it burned quite a bit. It was really sore inside the calf. And over time, she wants me to get to a one-legged calf raise on the injured leg. So that's quite a way away if I can't hardly do seated ones right now. The other thing is the physio sessions. The next physio session is in 6 weeks. So basically, I'm doing this on my own at home and incorporating other exercises that I find online and what I feel comfortable with. So it's not great. I am going to look at going private as well, just to get something else in there to try and see if I'm doing things right. Maybe get some massaging in there to get some of the scar tissue out. So that's not great with regards to the amount of physio I'm going to receive with someone actually doing movements or massages on me. Then the next thing I'm going to cover off is you're going to see some videos now of me walking without the cast. So she says I need to use trainers now and walk in those indoors. If I go outdoors, wear the boot just in case there's uneven ground. You might slip and you could pull it and re-rupture it again, which I really don't want to do. I'll show you an exercise where I'm doing sort of the accelerator press, but I'm using a rubbish bin with those pedals. So that actually works quite well to give you a bit of tension there. I do some seated calf raises from the side and from the back, so you can see, and also from the top, as well as walking up and down stairs, how I handle those, and also other stretches and movements that I use to just loosen it up and get going. So I will get those videos up now, and I will talk over those and let you know how they go. So in this video you can see how I walk without the cast. My right leg, you can see I can't take that full step over because the tightness in the Achilles and the calf is you know, pretty tight. Yeah. But yeah, you can see I've got to take normal steps. I'm stepping over, but it is quite difficult. I don't want to do it too fast in case I do pull anything and get that burn. So yeah, the walking's okay. I feel comfortable in the trainers inside. I do walk barefoot as well, so that's okay. And yeah, I'm comfortable. The one thing which I think does help is a calf stretch, which I'm doing here, which I found in the kitchen where you have the kickboards. You have that little bit of extra space for your toe to go underneath. You can even do that under a cabinet or something. So when you push your knee forward, it doesn't go all the way to your toe where you really feel tight. So I thought this was quite a good gap to sort of work off. And you can see I'm just pressing. And then if you do sort of go forward too far, your knee does stop against the wood, so you can't hurt yourself. So if you're looking at stretching, I recommend this one. It's quite nice to do. And then moving on to the toe press. Yeah, my boots in the background there. You can see with the bin, I'm doing some toe presses as if I'm driving a car. It's not as strong pushing back against my feet, but the green pedal is slightly lighter compared to the yellow. I can put something on the lid of the bin as well to increase the weight and the pressure, and I thought this was quite a good exercise to do to get that calf pressing strength and, you know, pushing your toes. And the same as sitting at my desk pressing against a yoga mat or something soft, maybe even a stress ball could work as well. So that helps with the pressing of the foot, and you can also then follow up with a full lift to give the stretch out as well. So that's another exercise that I'm doing, and it's working quite well. I do feel that I've had a workout once I'm done with those, which is quite weird, just doing some toe presses anyway. So the next one is doing the seated calf raises. So I do these barefoot, and yeah, while I'm filming, my little dog wants to play the whole time, and he doesn't know why my shoes are there, so he wants to steal those all the time. And he also wants this ball, which he can't have. But one thing I do here is loosen up underneath my foot, so that gets quite tight, and I do roll around on this a few times just to loosen up my foot underneath before I do exercises, and it does help. It definitely helps with the stretch, and it does make it easier doing other things, you know, exercises and movements. Then what I do as well is place my other foot on top to give it a bit more pressure so I can press down. It also prevents my foot from slipping off the ball and giving you a sort of a jolt where you could probably injure yourself. So that works. So you could use probably a tennis ball if you want. This one's quite hard, a hockey ball, cricket ball, whatever ball you have. It works quite well. I'll also have a double ball of this type with two next to each other, so when you roll, either side of your foot gets sort of massaged. So that's a good one to loosen up your foot, and yeah, it does help. So once I've finished with those, what I do is I start doing pushing and pulling movements on the floor. I can do it on the carpet as well. It's a bit more tough, but definitely the pulling back does feel sore in the Achilles and calf area, but it does build up some of that strength. So I do those a few times back and forth, and you can see the leg sort of flexing, you know, as I pull back with the hamstrings as well. So it does create a bit of tension back and forth, and it's just, yeah, another exercise where you are stretching the ankle out, and when you're coming back, you can see I'm just going over horizontal, so it's giving a bit of a stretch as well. And there is tightness where I'm pressing now on the front of my shin as well as on the sides, as you know, so I do give it a good rub. I don't have any pain when I'm doing this, and the physio did say that I can give it a good rub. It does help with the scar tissue to loosen it up as well, and that will loosen up the tightness and give you more movement you know, to do your flexing and stretches and things like that. The other one I do is toe curls and toe flexors out like that. So I pull in as if I'm drawing a sort of a towel or something underneath, and I'm trying to pull it towards me by crunching my toes together and squeezing, and then extending my toes out, which also gives that stretch. The other one is sort of like windscreen wipers, going left and right, going in and out. That also helps. I do feel the stretch on either side of my calf, like above the ankle bones on both sides. So this is quite a nice one to do as well, to give you a bit more stretch and movement. I do all the exercises with both feet, so I can see how much further the other foot is moving compared to the uninjured one. Then some rotation movements, so going clockwise and anti-clockwise. I do these as well. These are quite good to loosen it up, and it seems like little Charlie wants to enjoy them as well with me, and coming to visit once again. He really wants to play with me, and I can't run with him like I used to, so I have to make do with hobbling along, and I can see he sort of gets frustrated because I'm not as quick as I used to be. But anyway, so yeah, some of the toe curls and rotations and that is quite good. Then the next one is just lifting my toes up to horizontal, and if possible a bit as far past as I can go, and just holding it for a little bit and then releasing. You can see my left foot, the furthest foot away, does go up a bit more. Again, it's all the tightness that needs to be loosened up, but this is also quite a nice one to do during the exercises, just to loosen things up a bit. Now the calf raises is basically just sitting on the chair and just doing a calf raise like that, nothing special, holding it there for a moment in time, and probably 5 seconds, trying to build up to 10, and yeah, there goes, he goes off after his little toy, so that's good. Now we can look at the calf raises again. I'm sure you're enjoying Charlie more than my calf raises. So yeah, just holding those up, and then the next thing is starting to apply a bit of weight by just pressing my hand down on my knees, so it does create a bit of tension at the top of the movement, and then releasing and going down again. This does, as soon as I put weight on, it does create quite a bit of burn in the back of my calf. And yeah, here's Charlie again. I think I'll go and play with him for a little bit, and I'll see you now. So I've come back and I'm doing those movements again, but just from the top view, so you guys can see what it looks like. So pushing forward and back on the floor, my injured leg's the right one. You can see it's not as quick as my left one. You can also see the calf slightly triggering now and then, twitching a little bit, which is good. The physio said it's good when it sort of twitches, because we've got to get that strength back in there. Toe curls, doing those from the top view, you can see that's happening there, and you can also see what Charlie looks like from the top as he walks under the chair. And the windscreen wipers, you can see my right foot is not as flexible as the left one. The left one is also injured from a long time ago, so that one's not as flexible as an uninjured foot. But I've got 2 injured ankles now, so I can't really compare to an uninjured ankle. So yeah, just moving in and out, pushing backwards and forwards, doing the rotations. And when doing the rotations like this, what I do is I imagine them, say your feet are on the beach in the sand, and you're just scooping the sand as you go down and pushing it towards each foot, and then also going the other way, you're pushing the sand out and away from you as your foot goes into the sand. So that just creates a bit of tension. It builds a bit of strength as well. It looks really basic and compared to doing gym calf raises and things like that, but it does help. So now I've got a view from behind. You can see the swelling from my ankle on the right hand side, where the socks, even wearing loose socks, creates a dent in my leg still. And just doing calf raises here, you can see the difference in the flexing of the calf, and also my right calf is much higher than my left one now, because I've got that 2 centimeter gap in between my Achilles tendon. And that gap is where I'm showing you on the screen now. It's that piece over there that's got a gap. So my calf and tendon has healed longer, so I won't be able to ever flex as small as my okay leg. And yeah, you can see the calf does trigger now and then, which is good. It is more wobbly than the left one, but things are still attaching and healing and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a long time before I can do things like I want to. And yeah, it's pretty tough doing some of these calf raises. You can see it's just the leg starts wobbling quite a bit when I get to the top and hold it there. But I'll get there. I'll just carry on doing this every day, and I'll get stronger and stronger, and soon I'll be doing a video with just one leg doing calf raises. So walking up the stairs. This is how I walk up the stairs. I try and keep my right leg as straight as possible and not flex too far forward with my knee to get that stretch in the Achilles area on the back of the calf. And coming downstairs, doing one step at a time, that's much easier because the leg stays more stable. And you can see the right one, my left leg actually, how it bends a lot more. The knee goes way over my toe, and that's the stretch I don't want to get because it does pull and burn sometimes when I do overdo it. So stairs I'm able to do now, which is good, much easier. Charlie seems to enjoy that as well because I can go up and see him and come down and he just watches me. Another way is going sideways like this, and then I was brave enough to do a full step at the end. Okay, so that's some of the exercises that I've been doing, some of the stretches that I've been doing. I hope those help you if you're on non-operative Achilles rehab like I am, and your recovery is sort of on track similar to mine. I'm sure you're going to do similar exercises, but any adaptation of those ones are really good. Just feel what your body's allowing you to do. Don't overdo it. I know when I've overdone things because I feel my leg just feels like it's not there. It's really weak and tired. And I do start getting a burning feeling later. I do have a new icing sleeve, which is called a freeze sleeve. Now this thing's pretty cool. I've never used one before, but I did. And it lasts for about 15-20 minutes, which is about the time you should be icing. And it is really cold. It's like a solid sleeve that fits over your ankle or arm or whatever. You can buy different sizes. And when I'm feeling like it's burning or I've overdone a few things with exercise, I will slip that on, and it really cools it down. It makes my ankle feel really nice afterwards. And yeah, it's actually quite good. I guess you could just stick your foot in a little tub with ice as well and water if you do feel a bit of swelling or anything like that. But yeah, those are my exercises. That's my experience and my journey so far with week 8 and 9. I hope it helps you guys. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. This is what I've been doing. This is what I feel comfortable with. So whatever exercises you've been given, do those. If you feel you can do a little bit more, do whatever, adapt them, whatever feels good for you. But obviously speak to your physio. All of those exercises I did speak to the physio about, and she said all of them were fine. All the stretches were fine. So I did that. Yeah, so I'm going to be carrying on with those. I will be walking around the house in my trainers, and I will be very careful, and I will see you guys for week 10. Cheers.